Hello players, welcome back to the only tech news show that's too sexy for the algorithm. Come on in, everyone's welcome. Pants off, dignity and airplane mode. We've got some tech news. As always, I look forward to all of your comments. Do it whenever you feel the urge. I say, type before you think properly. That's my monkey. Okay, we've got 6 stories, 4 lawsuits, and 1 dead butler. Oh, and a 12-year-old who blew apart the entire National British Security with an eyebrow pencil. So, let's get into it. Let's begin with the biggest, what the actual fiscal fuck story of the week. The smooth-brained aped meme stock cinematic universe just dropped its weirdest sequel yet. GameStop wants to buy eBay. Yes, the company you last walked into in 2017 to sell 3 Wii U games to get pennies of sadness of store credit has officially submitted a bid to buy eBay. Now, we don't have GameStop over here, so I'm gonna have to live the nostalgia for my American friends. GameStop has made an unsolicited, non-binding offer to buy all of eBay for roughly $55.5 billion. Billion with a B, like as in, bro, what the hell are you smoking, bath salts? At $125 a share, half cash and half GameStonk stock. GameStonk stock. Stop. Don't stop. GameStop. I know what you're thinking. GameStop has $55 billion? All money at that size has to be imaginary, right? I mean, I imagine that I have some things that are bigger than they are, but not like that. All right, I look forward to your comments. So yeah, Ryan Cohen, GameStop CEO and full-time main character, fired off the email offer a couple weekends ago. And as I said, 125 bucks a share and half cash, half GameStop stock. And some vibes, I guess. eBay, by the way, is roughly 4 times bigger than GameStop. This is it's like the Chihuahua telling the Great Dane to come quietly. It's like Rick Moranis trying to bench press The Rock. It's like Linus trying to tell better jokes than me. That was a joke. I have no ego. I just made a small penis joke about myself. But the stuff about being better than Linus was true. I look forward to your comments. Right, GameStop already secretly built up about 5% stake in eBay before lobbing this over the wall. And they've got a highly confident letter from TD Bank for $20 billion in debt financing. A highly confident letter. Yeah, I wish I had that kind of confidence. That's the most banker phrase ever invented. It's not a yes, it's not a no, we'll absolutely think about giving you money, so just please stop emailing us. Fantastic. I'm highly confident that Margot Robbie will return my emails, but that doesn't mean I'm buying a hot tub. I might do, just in case. Ryan Cohen says he wants to put eBay and GameStop together to make a legit competitor to Amazon, and I hate to be that guy, but we don't need another Amazon. I mean, one's bad enough. Now, GameStop says it can cut $2 billion of annualized costs from eBay within 12 months, and that includes cutting marketing, product development, and admin costs. So the plan seems to be buy eBay and remove all the bits that cost money and hope that the corpse starts breakdancing. That's basically what Elon Musk did to the Twitter strategy, but without all the Nazi stuff. Do we have a picture of Elon Musk? Yeah, there we go. I don't know if this deal will happen. It's non-binding. Regulators would need to get involved. Shareholders would need to approve it. eBay's board would need to hold with diamond hands, and someone would definitely need to find the rest of the money behind the sofa somewhere. But if it works, I look forward to the next phase. eBay buys Craigslist, Craigslist buys Facebook Marketplace, and then the whole internet just becomes one giant listing for slightly used capitalism. Collection only, no lowballers. I know what I've got. Speaking of knowing exactly what you've got, or more accurately, renting what you thought you might own until the debt police kicks your door in, let's talk about NZXT. I know I'm English, I should say NZXT, but NZXT sounds easier to say, so we're going with that. So you know NZXT, the PC company, the ones with the cute white cases that your nephew picks because his Discord crush told him it was girl boss. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they agreed to cough up $3.5 million in a class action settlement, and the lawsuit was brought under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, or RICO. The same law that America wrote to take down John Gotti is now being used on a company that sells RGB liquid coolers. We're living in the dumbest possible timeline, and I love it. Quick history lesson all the way back in 2024, NZXT and their billing partner Fragile Inc., and yes, the company involved is called Fragile, named after its foundations and Linus's ego. Another joke, I don't mean those words. Sometimes I say words I don't mean. That was one of them. They launched the Flex program. Rent a gaming PC for $59 a month. And that was it. It sounds amazing if you're a kid who can't afford a rig outright, and surprise, surprise, that's exactly who they targeted. Influencers out there straight up suggesting that you could rent a PC and win a Fortnite tournament and use the prize money to buy it outright. Yeah, inspirational, aspirational. The American dream, brought to you by predatory finance and a 13-year-old's grind set. But of course, the small print was like a Saw movie. Gamers Nexus, who deserve a knighthood if they ever come to England again, a parade, and Steve's choice of any chair or lap that he wants. They did a multi-part deep dive investigation calling Flex, and I'm quoting, a predatory evil scam. It turns out it wasn't rent to own, it was rent your way to rent forever and until your pubes go grey. Or you just stop having money. There was no path to ownership, none. You would just pay an NZXT a monthly tribute to have a PC. But yeah, I think it was the influencer marketing that got to me the most. Just rent this expensive PC and become an esports millionaire. It's like telling someone, don't worry about the mortgage, just buy a guitar and become Ed Sheeran by Thursday. Start a YouTube tech-based comedy channel and people will love it. But of course, it gets worse. They allegedly bait and switched hardware as well. So you'd sign up for a rig with a fancy GPU and the box that arrived had quietly been nerfed for a worse one. Yeah, I mean, that's like ordering a Big Mac and getting a fillet of fish, or clicking on an LTT video and getting me. See? I can do it the other way as well. If we're making videos online, we should be able to laugh at ourselves. Don't you think? I do. Let me know. So the settlement breakdown for the 19,322 affected customers is that people currently being hounded by collectors get up to $5,000 in debt forgiven. People who have paid for the last 2 years and genuinely thought they were going to be keeping the PC now actually get to keep their rig, and people who return their machine and bailed get a cash payout, which is going to be significantly lower. But congratulations, NZXT, you have officially convinced the US District Court that you operate like good fellas. Now, the Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive's beautiful, free, held together with duct tape, prayers, and broken JavaScript time machine that has preserved over 1 trillion web pages, is currently being systematically blocked by 23 major news sites. The New York Times, USA Today, which by itself owns over 200 outlets, Reddit, and The Guardian's doing this passive-aggressive shit where they let the bot crawl the webpage and then hide the archives from public view. So yeah, their excuse is AI training fears. They're worried that AI companies are scraping the archives to feed their language models, which is fine, that's a fair concern. And it would be great, except they're all using AI for half their articles. But never mind. The Wayback Machine is one of the most important tools on the internet. It lets you see old versions of websites, deleted pages, change wordings, quiet edits, vanish promises, the digital footprints of corporations who would disappear like a fart in a hurricane. It's basically the internet CCTV. And the archive is literally the only tool on Earth that can prove what they originally wrote. It's the only thing that catches journalists when they quietly edit a story after publication. It's the only thing that lets normal people verify like a claim from 6 years ago without paying 20 publishers $8 a month each, like some kind of journalism OnlyFans subscription. But instead of seeing tits, you just see articles about Markle's new hat. Yeah, I know where my $8 would go. And the absolute peak hypocrisy is that USA Today literally used the Wayback Machine to research a story about ICE detention policies, and is now blocking the same tool from preserving its own work. And now the publishers are looking at it and going, well, actually, could you just not preserve our words? We might want to pretend that we never said them. Without the archives, the internet becomes whatever powerful people say it was this morning. Oh, we never promised unlimited storage. No, we never said lifetime licenses, or we never described Flex program as rent to own. And yes, AI scraping is a real concern. Publishers are angry that AI companies have been hoovering up the internet like a cocaine Roomba and turning journalism into autocomplete sludge, which is fair, I guess. But blocking the Internet Archive because you're mad at AI companies is like burning down the library because someone once photocopied a page. The Wayback Machine isn't the villain here. The villain is the AI company with a $90 billion valuation saying, "We trained on public data," while nervously kicking a pile of stolen torrents underneath the bed. If publishers want to stop AI scraping, then fine, go after the scrapers, build licensing, use technical controls and sue the right people. But don't shoot the historian because a robot read a newspaper. Because once digital history is gone, it's gone. There's no dusty attic copy of a 2012 webpage. There's no granddad pulling out an old HTML file from a biscuit tin saying, "Gather round, children. This is the original Xbox One DRM policy." I don't know any granddad who sounds like that. But there we are. The modern internet is editable, deletable, paywall, geo-blocked, SEO polluted, AI generated, and somehow still full of recipes with 4,000 words about someone's grandmother before you find out how to boil an egg. We need archives. Otherwise, the internet becomes a giant etch-a-sketch controlled by corporate lawyers. But speaking of internet history quietly being executed in the back alley, Ask.com, formerly Ask Jeeves, officially shut down on May the 1st, 2026, after nearly 30 years of answering questions from people who didn't know that Google existed yet. The farewell message said every great search must come to an end, which is quite sweet. That's the sort of thing an old butler says right before dissolving into pixels and turning into a Yahoo toolbar. If you're under 25, you might not have any idea of who Jeeves was. Ask Jeeves launched in 1997, and the gimmick was alright. You could type in a full question, like an actual sentence, and it would try to give you a real answer. This was before AI. The mascot butler was called Jeeves, and he looked like Mr. Peanut took a job at a bread and breakfast. Did you ask him, "Jeeves, how do I tell if my crush likes me?" And he'd return 7 results. 4 of them were broken, 1 was a virus, 1 was a Russian gambling site, and the other one just took you to a webpage that played the Macarena while popping up 40 windows. It was a real journey back then. It was basically ChatGPT, but with manners, and no ability to write your resignation letter in the style of Shrek. So Ask Jeeves launched in the late 90s when the internet was still wearing cargo shorts. The era was Yahoo, Alta Vista, Lycos, Netscape, and pop-up ads, and dial-up screaming like a robot being waterboarded. And websites proudly telling you that they were best viewed in Internet Explorer 5. But now search engines don't have butlers, unfortunately. They have AI summaries that tell you to put glue on pizza, so we've made some progress there. We replaced the helpful butler with a hallucinating blender of Reddit posts. Ask Jeeves rebranded to Ask.com in 2006, dropping Jeeves because having a recognizable mascot was way too joyful and human. Then in 2010, I think, Ask gave up on its own search crawler and just leaned more into Q&A. But nobody at Ask.com thought, hey, we own the original AI butler brand. AI butlers are now a $40 billion a year industry. Maybe we should bring Jeeves back. Imagine it, Chat Jeeves. He answers in a polite British accent and calls you sir or madam, and refuses to write erotic Pokemon fanfiction with such grace that you actually feel ashamed of yourself for asking. I beg your pardon, sir. I cannot in good conscience compare smart about Pikachu. And might I suggest a nice trip to the gardens? You see, just untold riches left on the table. Actually, Pokemon Smart read like that might be more profitable. There's a lot of weird people. I'm one of them. I look forward to your comments. But Ask Jeeves is sitting there in internet heaven, silicon heaven, going, "You absolute bastards, this was my whole bit." It's like inventing the selfie in 1997 and then dying right before Instagram launches. Anyway, goodbye, Ask Jeeves. You may not have won search. You walk so Google could crawl, trip and faceplant into glue pizza. New AI butlers might be taking everyone's jobs, but in an unexpected plot twist, Chinese courts have apparently decided that workers are not disposable ink cartridges. The Chinese courts have ruled that companies cannot simply fire workers just because AI can do their jobs cheaper. Yeah, you know it's worrying when workers in China start getting better employment rights than, I don't know, any country outside China. The Hangzhou case involved a worker named Zhu, who was doing quality inspection around AI-generated outputs. I probably butchered both of those names, so I apologize, but I'm not good with Chinese. I'm not speaking any of it anyway, but here we are. Anyway, he reportedly earned 25 yuan a month and then the company tried to move him to a lower paid role at 1,500 yuan because AI was effectively doing the work for him. He refused and the company fired him. The court said no, or whatever the Chinese equivalent is of no. AI adoption was treated as a business choice, not some unforeseeable objective major change that magically made a contract impossible. In normal people words, you chose the robot, mate, so you can't make that the worker's problem. That's a strangely sane sentence for 2026, and it's coming out of China. The court also said that companies should consider retraining workers or reasonable reassignment rather than just feeding them into the AI mulcher. And look, I'm not pretending that China is suddenly a worker's paradise with free hugs and nap pods, but you know it's getting weird when a worker in China might have a stronger protection from AI replacement than some guy in America being fired by a Slack message written by ChatGPT. In the West, companies are like, we care deeply about our employees, that's why we've replaced them with an AI trained on their emails and named it Kevin. Every CEO now wants AI because they think it means infinite productivity, with no payroll. They hear the words automation and their nipples turn into USB-C ports. But the fantasy is always the same. Fire the humans, keep the output, increase the margins and tell investors that you're AI native, whatever that means, and then discover that the chatbot told a customer to microwave a battery and sent an invoice to Narnia. Now AI can be useful, but your entire business strategy shouldn't be replace everyone with a text predictor and good vibes. I don't know where this goes, but it's an important story because AI disruption is coming for a lot of jobs, and the question is whether society manages that transition like adults or just lets billionaires turn the workforce into human confetti. Right, let's finish with Britain. Beautiful, stupid Britain. Land of tea, rain, and children defeating online safety systems with an eyebrow pencil. You know how the UK rolled out the Online Safety Act last summer, the grand plan to scan everyone's face before letting them watch a single digital boob? Yeah, the thing that turned my evening of winding down into a stressful session of logging into NordVPN. Well, a new report says that children in the UK are drawing on fake moustaches and entering fake birthdays to bypass online age checks for social media and gaming platforms. A third of children in the UK have apparently bypassed age verification gates, and 1 in 6 parents have even helped their children get around them. Forget hackers in hoodies or neon cities and encrypted implants. British cybercrime is a 12-year-old called Oliver drawing a tiny moustache on his face in the bedroom mirror. So Roblox thinks he's a divorced estate agent. One mother said she caught her son using an eyebrow pencil to draw a moustache, and it verified him as 15 years old. Nothing says older teenager than looking like a Victorian chimney sweep who had just discovered prime energy. The Online Safety Act requires porn sites, social media, and platforms likely to be accessed by children to check ages, and obviously protecting kids online matters, but punishing everyone else and risking their privacy is not the answer. But age verification has always had this problem. The internet is full of children, and children are tiny little fraud machines powered by Haribo. The whole thing cost a fortune to design. It pissed off a generation of British adults who now have to upload selfies of their faces and arguably their balls to a verification company in order to watch a video of one or more consenting adults doing what consenting adults have done since cave times, and have a 12-year-old with a pencil blow the doors off it in an afternoon. You can't get them to put a plate in the dishwasher, but somehow they've got a VPN, a burner email, and a copy of all the Epstein files. The serious bit is that kids are still seeing harmful content online at unacceptable rates. The funny bit is that the enforcement technology is being beaten by fake birthdays and face doodles. We spent billions building AI that can generate video, write code, detect cancer, and produce fake influencers with dead eyes like Logan Paul, but apparently we cannot tell the difference between a grown adult and a child wearing an eyebrow pencil like a dollar store Tom Selleck. Maybe the next system will ask harder questions like, to prove you're over 18, please explain council tax. To prove you're over 25, please identify why your back hurts. To prove you're over 30, please make a noise while standing up. And to prove you're over 40, please describe when and where you were when someone first said WhatsApp group. I hope that covers everyone who's watching, but now it's time to stop watching. You know, tech news used to be about gadgets, and now it's about lawsuits, dead websites, corporate memory holes, financial fever dreams, and children committing identity fraud with stationery. What a time to be alive. A stupid, horny, legally complicated time. Anyway, it's the end of the show. If you like this, most of my other videos are very similar to this one, but with different words in a different order. If you laughed once, do me a favor and hit the like button. If you didn't, hit it twice out of spite. The algorithm doesn't care which. It just wants to be touched, much like myself. The subscribe button is below it as well. You can treat them like a combo. The comments are wide open, the rude ones, the mean ones, even the nice ones, all of them. I read every single one. So, comment with draw a mustache for me if you made it this far to the end, and maybe I will. Okay, I think we're there. Stay sexy and be excellent to each other. I tried to be a video editor, but I couldn't make the cut.